All right, all right. Welcome back to the Travi Wavi. We're really excited to be here again today, coming to you live from the 325 in beautiful, historic downtown Abilene, Texas. We are recording today at the Neon Parrot Studios. I'm your host, Travis Eason, and we're excited to be here. We've had a little bit of technical hiccups this morning, but hopefully we're streaming now and you can watch us. Got a wonderful, beautiful guest on today, Nichole Reno. Really excited that you're here.
Thank you, same.
Thank you for your patience with us today also as we try to make this happen. Okay, so Nichole, first question. All the guests get it. Tell me about your siblings.
I'm the oldest. I have Bryson. He
Okay.
is 4 years younger. He lives in San Antonio. He's the cool one.
He's the cool kid?
Yeah.
Okay.
He has all like the cool gadgets and the amazing art and I don't know, dresses cool
Right
without
on.
trying.
Yeah.
And then the baby brother's 8 years younger than me, and his name's Michael.
Okay.
And he's the glue.
Okay.
He's real thoughtful. They both are very thoughtful, but Michael's very giving of his time. He's a firefighter here locally. He's a great dad. They're both insanely funny. We're all funny. Very punny, and but they're both so quick that it makes me feel not as funny when I'm with them. We have a siblings text thread of just all kinds of things.
Goofy stuff.
Always.
Love it. So
Yeah.
you guys are close still.
Yes, I think so. We don't get to see each other as much as I would like,
Yeah.
especially with Bryson. But yeah, they're awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. And then you guys all grew up here in Abilene?
Mhm.
Yeah. And you left for a period of time.
Yeah, I was gone from December of 98 until August of 2018.
And what'd you do in those 20 years?
I lived in North Carolina,
Okay.
and I lived in Colleen.
Okay.
So I married my kid's dad. We had our daughter in high school. I'm sure we'll touch on that later. And then got married after graduation, and he joined the military. And so we went to Fort Bragg, North Carolina in Fayetteville. And we're there for a while. I lived here for about a year in 2001
Okay.
while he was in Korea, and then went back to North Carolina, and then we were in Colleen from 05 to 18.
Okay. And then you came back to Abilene.
Yes, so we got divorced, and I moved back home.
Cool.
I didn't want to move back.
But you did.
I did, and I wasn't going to stay,
But you did.
and I couldn't be happier.
I'm glad to hear that.
Oh, it's wonderful.
So we were talking before the show about how we might have met each other first, and I think it was way back in the day when Sock Dolliger was on China Street,
Yes.
down the street from Pappy's.
Yeah.
And your current husband, Will, was working there with James and Alex, and there was a redneck pool party.
Yes.
And someone had a truck, and we put a tarp in the back of the truck, filled it full
Yes.
of water, and sat in that clammy.
It, it was like clammy people soup.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It was so fun, though. There were some like little blow-up pools that people bought. As the brewery grew and once they changed places, that became much bigger. But yeah, it was a good day.
It was a good day. Yep. So
Good
I think that's how
beer.
we met, sitting in the back
Yeah.
of a pickup filled with water, chit-chatting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at that time, were you doing hair?
Yes.
You
So
were.
I moved here. Let's see. I think I'd been doing hair for almost a year,
Okay.
maybe 8 months, somewhere in there, in Colleen and then in Temple.
Okay.
And the reason I actually moved here was one of Kingsley's barbers at the King's Barbers. I went to high school with him, and we chatted on Instagram some. And he got a job opportunity in Bangkok, and he messaged me one day. I was here visiting, A business plan that I had kind of fallen through. And so I came here just kind of licking my wounds. I needed like a respite. And so I came home to mom and dad, and I was about to leave to go back, and I had all my barber stuff with me. So I cut my dad's hair while I was here, my brother. And I got a message, and he said, next time you're in town, you need to come see Kingsley. I think you'd be a good fit. And I said, well, I'm in town now. And he said, can you come by? So I came by, and me and Kingsley had really similar views on barbering and where things should go and what the industry looked like and how it should look like in the future. And she wanted me to come back and do like a haircut or something. And then another guy that I went to high school with randomly walked in and wanted a beard trim and a shave. And so she was like, well, Nichole can do it. So I went out to my car and got my stuff and did a shave, and he said it was great. And so she offered me a chance to come down and work for a couple weeks to see how I felt about it. I was at a walk-in shop only, and so the shop is appointment only. And I got my butt kicked for 2 weeks because I was not used to appointments, and I was a new barber still, so I was slow. And it was a learning experience, but I loved it. And so my son went to college, so I left and went home, took him to college, and I was beside myself at the thought of being 5 hours from him. And so I called Kingsley, and I said, I can't do it. I can't come down. And so she said, okay, well, if you change your mind, just let me know. And if you don't know Kingsley, like, she's really, I mean, you know Kingsley. Yeah. She's just, whatever. It's
Go
great.
with the flow.
Yeah.
Chill.
You do what you need to do for yourself. Things will keep moving. So I went to go see him for lunch 3 days after I dropped him off. And we were talking, and he had mentioned something about wanting to get a bunk bed for his room because I was going to be there all the time. And I realized that I needed to move so he could start, and so I could restart. And I guess really start. I had kids so young, I never actually started my own life. So I said, sorry, you don't need to do that. I'm moving to Abilene. And so called Kingsley, packed up, and was here a week later.
I love that. And then was that was that back over here at like where the ice house is at now?
Yes.
That was the
was
original location for Kingsley, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I like that. And so you were there for what, a couple years?
Yeah. Well, so 2018 until I opened my own shop and bought her out. So that was June of 23.
Okay. So you've been now across the street on Pine
for almost 2 years.
Yeah. Great. And it's a great shop.
I love it. Thanks.
We do have some pictures, Sam, if you want to slide through them while we're talking about hair and barbershops and entrepreneurship. There's some great people up there that work for you.
Yes.
And really cool atmosphere. Tell me, so, you mentioned that you and Kingsley kind of had similar ideas about the industry and the future of the industry. How have you grabbed that by the horns, and what sort of changes or directions are you doing as an entrepreneur to help kind of impact the future of barbering?
So I think for a little while, barbering kind of dipped. Men went to longer hair in the 70s and 80s, and there was this resurge. I would say probably early 2000s, but it wasn't the barber shop that I grew up in. My grandpa was a barber, and so, it's very like almost like a conveyor belt, right? In, out, in, out, in, out. There's TVs to distract you, and I really wanted to put the community back into the barber shop. And I have some heroes that I would definitely say helped mold that. There's a barbershop called Scorum in Rotterdam over in Europe, which means scumbag. But they are truly old school. Like, there's really not even women in the barbershop unless they're barbers. People ride trains from all over Europe to walk in You wait for hours,
Hmm.
and they serve whiskey, but there's no TV. It's just people
Hmm.
and conversation and hair and jokes and talking crap and just what barbershops were supposed to be. And I really felt like we're missing that here.
Hmm.
And so that's the goal. The goal is to like that. So when I opened my own, I had planned to open my own, and then Kingsley was busy spreading her wings, and she had opened Poorhouse, and she was opening Sway, and it was just time for her to sell. And so I took everything and bought her out, and then pulled it all into the collective. And so, but that's what the collective name is, because that's what we are. We are, the shop is a reflection and a collective of our community. Whether you are on city council, or you own a company, or you are on the school board, or you teach, or you drive the bus, or whatever. Anybody and everybody walks through our door.
All walks of life.
And it's great.
Yeah.
It's something new every day. And it's really cool to connect people. Let's say I have a client that is really good at this task and is looking for a job, and they randomly show up to just come hang out. They weren't even getting a haircut. They just came to like drink a beer and hang out. And I have the perfect person for them to work for in my chair and introduce them. And over the next, 3 weeks, they chatted, got to know each other, and now this person is working for that person's company, and it's a perfect fit. And so I get to do stuff like that all the time, introduce people to one another. You need a roofer, we cut 5.
Yeah.
You need a painter, we have 3.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what it's about.
So like community networking, being
Yeah.
a third space in a way, almost.
Yeah.
I like that.
Just a welcoming space. And also like a confidence builder. Like I need you to feel your best when you leave. And not because your haircut's great. Your haircut will be great.
Yeah.
But because you get refueled.
Yeah. One-on-one time, touch. There's a lot of touch in
Yes.
barbering. Yeah, I like that.
And people don't think about that.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that when I was in barber school, but it's a strangely intimate relationship.
Very intimate. Yeah. Being close with a client or customer, even if it's for 20 minutes or 30 minutes, it can really change attitudes and energies and auras of people pretty quickly.
You kind of get to learn what humanity is. Because I can have somebody come in that I don't know that seems grumpy, and think, off the top of your head, you think, oh, great, and then you start talking to them and you realize they either just lost their job, or they just put their mom on hospice, or, they had an argument with their teenager and they are feeling really upset about it. And they get to unpack that with you. And it's really strange because sometimes, literally people that you've just met, you learn everything about them in 30 minutes.
Maybe more than you wanted to know.
Sometimes I'm really empathetic, and so sometimes I have to kind of shake the day. But you grow that relationship. Sometimes people need a different perspective. And so you can help shift that. You can take what they said and like repeat it back in a way that they know that they're heard, but that also gives them a fresh perspective of, oh, maybe I didn't look at it like this. I know I got in the argument with my kid and I just feel so defeated and frustrated about it, but I didn't think about them needing to expand who they are and them having to learn right now about expressing themselves. And then also, as they're about to leave the home, we have to start separating. And so fights are going to be more, and I know that because I've done it, and I've been there. And so I'm able to give, this actually happened. So I was able to give a perspective of like, this is your kid being shaped into who you've helped raise. And so arguments are going to happen. It's no different than when your marriage is growing, or, growing is uncomfortable. And so I think he left feeling better and was able to approach a conversation with his kid about it. And, it helps. So communicating
haircuts
is...
and healing.
Communication's a really cool thing,
It is.
and so is being human.
It is. So where do you see for yourself and like the collective? I mean, I know you have other dreams and ideas of things you'd probably want to accomplish, but as far as the industry is concerned, are there like particular things that you want to try to accomplish or that you would like to see grow or I
Like
don't know if that's
industry wise?
yeah, industry wise. Like in 5 years, if you got to control some of the or impact what the outcome would be in 5 years for the industry at large.
I would love for our cities to have more barber shops like we have. And not just the collective. So we have a lot of very talented barbers here. We have some very specific shops in town that I feel have that community spirit. And so, like, you go into some barber shops and it's just grind, grind, grind. And I'm going to chop as many heads as I can. And I'm trying to get my name out there, which is important. You know, having a bit of a hustle is important, especially as an entrepreneur, because if you're not cutting, you're not getting paid. But I think taking the time to realize that you're a service industry, and these people are blessing you every day by sitting in your chair, and switching that perspective to being about servitude and community changes barber industry. And we have barbershops, and I would like to say them. So Martez does amazing things in this town and has been for a while and continues to. And he also helps mentor barbers on entrepreneurship, on servitude, on all of those things. He is what I would say the epitome of community is. Our shop, I love, and that's what we do. One of my barbers, Leslie, owns a school called Affordable Barber Academy. And the goal of that is not to just get them to pass their tests, it's to have them shop ready. And that also means understanding the community and servitude part. We drill that into our students. Curbside cuts. They do. Aspen, the owner, is she's just such a boss. But she does so much for the community and for veterans. And, you know, it's a great shop. Kingdom Cuts, super community oriented. And they're a newer barbershop in town, and they do a phenomenal job at everything. But it's a really tight-knit group, and, I mean, they are always doing something to serve. And then I would say also, I'm sure everybody in town knows Teddy the Barber. He's been around forever. But there's a guy named Will, and they own River Oaks Barber. Super traditional, community-oriented, people-oriented. If every town could have that many barbershops, because we're a small community.
Yeah.
And we have that many barbershops that are really community forward. And I would dare to say that Dallas probably doesn't have that.
Interesting.
You know, I'm sure they do have little neighborhood barbershops, but I feel like if that could be a thing community-wide for our industry, where you take focus off of self, where you take focus off of achievements, where you take focus off of how sick your blend is, and you really focus on serving, I think that the industry would grow even faster.
That's interesting.
And men need a space.
Yeah, men do need a space to feel safe, to feel a part of.
Yes, to talk politics safely, to talk about being depressed, to not talk. I mean, some guys just want to sit down and not talk. And
be pampered a little bit.
Yes. But you know, you don't want somebody that has headphones on their ear, you know, that are listening to music that's not talking to you, that's videotaping the haircut. You know, I try to take photos and stuff of all of our barbers. If I ever decided to videotape a haircut, it would be after hours. You know what I mean? And I think that's great, and social media is important, but it's not the point.
It's not the point, no. And you mentioned that you're still teaching outside of your shop. I mean, clearly, as a shop owner, you're always teaching. You're in that kind of director role, and shaping and forming the culture. But talk to me more about, going and teaching in a formal setting. And
So I went over to Affordable. Leslie bought Affordable Barber Academy, and she needed some help. We are all very busy, and her schedule and my schedule especially are so busy. But she was really passionate about it and something that she's always wanted to do. And it's something that I was interested in doing, but I didn't know that I had the wherewithal to run a school. And so she needed some help with teaching. And so Saturdays is my day off from the barbershop. I don't cut Saturdays. And so and Saturdays is the longest day at school. And so I work 9 to 12, 9 to 1, sometimes all day. It kind of depends on what the need is.
Yeah.
I really wasn't looking forward to it. I was looking forward to helping Leslie, but I wasn't looking forward to teaching.
Yeah.
I was nervous about it. I'd never done it before. And so I was a little uneasy with what I could give. And I think that I was worried about falling short of what she needed. And it's so fun.
Do you think?
I love it.
I mean, my small 10 years of teaching has always proven to me that it makes you better at whatever you're doing.
Yes, it keeps me sharp.
Yeah.
My haircuts have gotten better since I started teaching.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? It's like you were like totally accomplished and really great, cream of the crop, but then you start teaching and all of a sudden it gets honed even further.
Well, I'm relearning.
Yeah.
And you have to teach everybody differently. And so I've had to learn how to communicate differently. And some people, they can't cut the way that I cut, but they understand this. And then the same thing, there's more than one way to skin a cat. And then it's like, oh, why haven't I been doing it like that? This is so much better than what I was doing. And, you get complacent. You get into your day-to-day, and that's what you do. But no, I love teaching. If I could afford to only cut like 2 days a week and teach all the time, I would do it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's so cool. And like, the struggle is real. The mechanics of barbering are very foreign if you're not used to it and you haven't been doing it. And so we'll get students in that have been cutting kind of on their own that are an easier transition. And then we have people that are green, like I was when I went to barber school. And the way you have to hold a comb is weird. And switching from a comb to a scissor in one hand it's just awkward.
Yeah.
Touching people's awkward.
Yeah.
And so to watch the beginning and then watch different things click as they go is really neat. I sing and dance when they get something. I'm sure they think I'm insane. But
just encouraging.
I'm like, I love it when people finally get things. But it's so cool. It excites me.
I love that.
Seeing other people grow, so cool.
I love that. So switching back to your shop, because I want to touch on the lockers, but yeah, you've really created an amazing, safe, high quality community up there, and you have lockers for some guests or for some clients.
So, the old barbershop had lockers. It was a different system, and then that kind of just faded with time as the shop got busier. And so I kind of took that concept and I wanted to switch it into something that would help me push community. And so we have these member lockers. They're $150 for a year, and you can keep whiskey, tequila. You can keep whatever spirits you want, or just we had a guy that he just kept juice boxes and coloring books and stuff for his kids in there, so then he didn't have to bring their bags when they came to the barbershop, which is brilliant.
Yeah, smart.
But you can keep whatever you want in there, and you can come and see your locker anytime you want. You don't have to be there for a haircut. We have guys that'll just come in and pour themselves a whiskey and sit down and just talk and take a 10-minute break, which I love, that people feel comfortable enough to do that. But I wanted to use the lockers as a way to do like a business to business, almost like a niche marketing. The people that are in our lockers are lawyers and doctors and marketing people and CEOs and CFOs and people that network a lot. And so I think we have 27 lockers that are taken. We have 50 available. And so you have perks. You get 20% off of anything from our store, product-wise, merch-wise, whatever. If you wanted to rent out the barbershop for, I don't know, a poker night or a bachelor party, or to get all your groomsmen taken care of before your wedding, you get 20% off of that. But the whole point is to push other local businesses. And so what the lockers do is they pay for my beer and my water and my coffee for the year. Each locker covers about a month's worth, not quite, but close. So it keeps my overhead down.
Yeah.
So as a thank you, they get free things every month. Sometimes it's a discount coupon. Sometimes it's Firehouse Fitness did 3 months for free, which is huge. I mean, that's worth the locker in its entirety. And so I try to reach out to businesses, and we've been doing this for a year and a half. But it doesn't have to be big. I want you to make money, but I want people to know that you're there. So give us enough of a discount, or, you know, a free flight or a free pint or whatever it is, so we can get people in your establishment. Because once they're there, I know they'll spend their money. We want to create customers for you. It doesn't cost the business anything except for what they put in the locker. I don't charge for it. I literally just want to connect people to other really cool places in town. One of my favorite lockers has been Dragon Meadery.
Oh, yeah. Ron.
We had
Absolutely.
little baby mead bottles that he
cute.
gave us to put in. We've done a lot of stuff with the Leaf. I mean, Jay's just an incredible human, so why would you not? But restaurants, bars, flower shops for Mother's Day, boutiques, anything. If you are a realtor and you just want to bring a calendar and put it in there so people know who you are, do it.
Cool.
But we try to highlight them for the full month that they're in the locker. So I'll go to their space, take photos that coincide with what our vibe is for our social media, and post about it. And then also we'll share anything that they have, stories, events that they have going on, things like that, just to help push it out to more social media people.
Very cool. Very
So
cool.
just a business
I
thing.
like it. And so if you're interested in a locker,
Please call me.
come see Nichole. She'll hook you up.
Yep. You can message me on Instagram, the barbershop on Instagram, me on Facebook, the shop on Facebook. On our website, it's thecollectiveabilene.com. We have our barbers page. Underneath there is my number. You can text that number. Texting is easier. If you call me, I may not answer. But I'll get to a text. So, but yes, we would love to have as many people in the locker as possible.
I love that.
We try to do 2 businesses a month. I'd love for them to go together. Like maybe it could be a date package. Or, you know, Abilene Golf Studio was super cool. They gave us chips, and you go in and you get a free appetizer. But when you leave, you get another one. And that's for a free pizza. And then when you leave after that, you get another one. And that's for a free round of golf.
Nice.
And so if you'll just take the chip from the locker and go, you actually get 3 free things.
I love that.
Isn't it neat?
That's super cool.
Yeah. It's also really just smart marketing on their part. Jeremy Shaw owns that. But I've really enjoyed the lockers because they've helped me explore other places as well.
Yeah.
I have new favorite places to eat because of it.
I like that.
Yeah.
How many barbers are currently
So we have
at the
9
collective?
technically.
9? Okay.
So we have 6 chairs in the main barbershop, a suite, and then Kingsley still cuts underneath the collective, but she's in the Windsor in her own suite. So we have 2 suites, 6 booths, and then my chair is split with another barber that's there part-time.
Okay.
So she's there Wednesday and Saturday.
Very cool. Very cool. And you anticipate cutting hair for the foreseeable future?
Yes. So I found out that my shoulders are built weird. So I have a lot of pain in my shoulders, and I couldn't figure out why. And so I have something called type 2 acromion shoulders. And so they're bent a little bit forward, and it aggravates my bicep tendon, and it's very painful. And so I'm working out at Firehouse with Josh trying to correct posture and help alleviate some of that, but I can't cut forever.
Yeah.
And I started cutting hair late, and so in life. So I would like to be down to like 2 days a week by the time I'm 55, 50 if I can.
Yeah.
And be in barbering in other capacities like teaching. I'd like to grow and have more.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping that I can replace that income so I can be in a different part where I'm helping grow the industry here, where I'm helping grow barbers here, where I'm helping barbers open up their own places here. I would love to help see other people have their own space too.
I love that.
So that's kind of the goal. And my daughter's actually in barber school right now.
Okay.
And so I'm hoping someday I'll have the capacity to step back, and as I step back, my people can just kind of slide into her chair. We look a lot alike. We sound alike. We're very similar. And so I think it'd be a good switch for them, and then they're going into someone that's younger that can be with them for longer.
Yeah. It's a good segue into your children. Let's talk about your children a little bit.
Yes.
How's everybody doing?
Good, I think.
Okay.
I mean, so far, they tell me they are.
Good.
So they're grown. So my daughter's 28, and she has a little boy named Atlas, and he just turned 3. And then my son is 25, and he lives in Austin.
Okay.
And he's in EMT school.
Cool. And your grandson and your daughter are currently at Ben Ritchie.
Yeah, they're in the family program.
Good. Tell me more about that.
So, in 2021, I sang for something called the Abilene Music Awards. And I was really excited to win and raise all this money. And I had no idea that the ranch did anything besides just have boys there. Just thought it was kind of like housing.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that they had something called the family program. And I didn't really realize what the boys program is. And so what's really neat is in doing that, I learned a lot about the ranch. I was able to get a tour of the ranch and all of these things. And the family program really spoke to me. I was a teen mom. And didn't have the best first marriage. And I had wished that maybe there might have been something like that for me. But it started 15 years ago, 2009, I think.
Okay.
And it's for single moms, and they have a group home aspect, and they have an individual home aspect that was started in 2020. And you can live at the ranch with your children for a certain amount of time to help alleviate the stressors of money and trying to have a place to live and be able to get up on your feet. And so it kind of gives you the ability, you pay to live there. Like, there's a program, and it's a strict program, but it works really well. So I thought it was super cool. We raised money. I was very excited. My daughter was engaged and got pregnant, and we got a call that she was in an abusive situation in Waco while she was pregnant. And so he ended up having to leave the house. Cops were very helpful, and I went down the next morning to get her. And on my way there, I called Carrie Fortune, and I said, "Do you take pregnant girls in your program?" She was 25 at the time, and she could have lived with us, but I wanted her to be able to empower herself in a safe space. As a mom, I'm going to try and fix it for you, and that's not helpful.
Yeah.
And so he said, "I don't know, we've never had a pregnant girl. And so I'll get back to you." So he gave us some stuff to do. So we went and got her. We took her to NOAA Project. She received counseling from RVCC. Abilene has great resources.
Tons of resources.
And even though she didn't live here when all of that happened, she was just taken in. So we got a call from Carrie to see if we wanted to come by and tour the ranch, see if she would be interested. And group living, I think, is scary. And you think it's a shelter. It's not. You have your own private space. It's just like common spaces are
Mhm.
shared. But she agreed to do it. And um, it was just like this miracle that they could take her, that they
Mm.
had an opening, that she was the first pregnant girl ever in their program. And Atlas is the first baby that was ever born in the program.
So cool.
Yeah, it's neat. But it's also opened up a door for other pregnant women. They just had another baby born into the program on the same day as Atlas.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that cool? They
That's
both
so
have the same
cool.
birthday.
Love that.
So yeah, had I not gotten to do this really fun thing to raise money,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have known about it. And, you know, we were just really lucky. Ben Ritchie is kind of like family now.
Mm.
It's wonderful.
Good.
And it's empowering and it's disciplinary. I mean, you have to discipline yourself and learn to budget and learn to do these things in order to stay in this program. But I mean, the things that you achieve in the program are just limitless if you push yourself.
I love that. And you and Jody are going to do another fundraising for Ben Ritchie coming up.
Yes.
Is that true?
So, Abilene Music Awards, you only get to do it one time.
Okay.
And I was so sad because I was like, I would have raised money different, and I want to do it again. It's the most fun. It's so terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
So you sing live with a live band, which is strange. I've never sang with a live band, and I did Wrecking Ball, which is a feat of a song.
Absolutely.
You don't have to sing good. I didn't sound great. It was theatrical and silly, and I had backup dancers, my husband Will and Bubba, in crop tops, bouncing on exercise balls, painted to look like wrecking balls. It was a good time.
That's great.
But I wanted to do it again, and you can't. And so it's the 10th year for this fundraiser that they do, and they decided to do duets. And so it's an all-star. It's a person that's done it before, coupled with someone that hasn't done it. And Jody, if y'all don't know who Jody is, she owns Bodyworks, and this is like the year of Jody. She's Entrepreneur of the Year. She did Dancing with the Stars. She's 20 Under 40. She's just a go-getter and really community-oriented. And I needed somebody that's competitive like I am and driven. And so I asked her if she would do it, and I really thought she would say no because she hadn't even danced yet for Dancing with the Stars. And she agreed. She said, "Can I think about it?" And I said, "Sure." And she said, "I would need to know your why." And so I told her about Allie and had her meet them and go see their house. And she agreed to do it because she's
Sweet.
great.
Can you share with us what you guys are singing, or is
Yeah.
it a surprise? It's
It
a
is
surprise.
a surprise.
Okay.
It is top secret.
And the event is the 19th of June?
June 19th.
Okay.
It's the third Thursday of June always. And we are competing with some big guns. So
Any other names you can drop?
Weldon Hurt.
Okay. The mayor.
Yes. Let's see who else. Trish Dressen.
Okay, yeah.
Mark Perkins.
Okay.
Seth Womack.
Yep.
They're a partnership.
Oh, that'll be great.
It's going to be dangerous. And they also sing so great, like
be
both
great.
of them. I think it'll be really entertaining, though.
How many
There's 8
duets?
duets.
8 duets, okay. And where will this be held? And
This
did
will
you
be
have
at the hotel, at downtown at the Hilton.
Okay, at the new hotel. Very good.
It's usually at the convention center, but I think for the 10th year, they're wanting to do some things differently.
Yeah.
It is a phenomenal event. And I think that, you know, when you've done something for 10 years, sometimes you need to breathe a little bit of different life into it. And so I think they're doing a really good job this year. I'm really excited about it. Mark Powell is the band. His band is the band. Clinton Pickens is the MC. Mark Powell does a lot of things with him for Ben Ritchie. And I think this was his idea. He wanted to do something different that nobody else was doing 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it is a riot. It's an adult-only event. It's 18 and up. It's real sassy. And it's a really good time.
I love that. So this will probably be your last time to really do it.
It is. It is probably, I'm sure.
Unless there's like the 20-year
They're probably tired
bringing
of
back
me.
bringing back the rock stars.
I'm
Well, this
sure
is
they're tired
cool.
of me, but it's okay.
What other are you doing? Anything else volunteer wise in the community? I mean, you're doing a lot
Yes.
already, but is there just anything else that you want to
Um,
mention that might be interesting?
Not that I can think of right
No.
now. I mean, I help Will like sometimes with work stuff,
Mhm.
but I mean, he does a community engagement right now for To Engage, and so he does a lot of events and zoo stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think we're going to Austin for a parent support meeting thing soon.
Very cool.
But no, school and work and Atlas keep me very busy. So
I
Allie's
bet.
in barber school and she's working part time, and so I watch Atlas in the evenings because that's when she can work.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get off work and then I have a 3-year-old until 10:30.
Pretty great.
He is a good time.
It's fun being a grandma.
Oh,
It's
I can
fun
give
being a
him
grandpa
back.
on my end, so I
Yeah.
understand being a.
I can
It's
give him
fun.
back.
Yeah.
He calls me Coley, which is really sweet. He's very funny, and he knows it. He has an incredible vocabulary. He's talked really early, especially for a boy, I think. But he's got really good comedic timing. He's super curious, and he's very empathetic and lovey, which is really sweet.
Love it.
And then he's also rowdy. So he's all of it. He's an enigma.
He's a wonderful little person. I bet. I haven't met him yet.
He's adorable.
So does your daughter have a plan to stay at Ben Ritchie for a period of time, or is there kind
So-
of an exit plan there?
The program used to be until your child turned 18. They've changed it a little bit. I think one as incentive for you to really not be complacent in the program, and I think two also so more people can go through the program and it can be utilized. And so it's a 5-year limit from my understanding now.
Okay.
So Allie has a little over 2 years left.
Yeah.
She's been in her, so she got there in February 2022, and they started the individual home program in 2020. They had 5 houses built, and now they have 10. And so she moved into her individual house December 22nd. I mean, December of 22.
Okay.
And so she has about 2 more years, and the plan is to own a house when she leaves.
Nice.
So she's worked really hard to get debt paid off and to discipline herself budget-wise and to put a lot in her savings. And so her hope and goal is to not have any debt at all when she leaves, no car payment, no nothing, and then have enough money to put down on a house.
Had a girl. That's pretty great.
And that'll be in time for him to start kindergarten.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah, she's going to do a great job.
What are some things we're missing that we need to talk about, Miss Nichole?
I can't think of anything really.
Will's doing good?
Oh, Will's great.
Yeah.
I love Will.
Hi, Will.
Hello, Will. I will say we are trying to continue to raise money for the Abilene Music Awards. And so there's a website. If you are friends with me on Facebook, you've seen it because it's all I've posted for the last 2 weeks. I'm trying to raise money. I call it nickel and diming. The economy is really hard right now. And so I think people get shy about giving because they can't give much. Not everybody has $500, $1,000, $5,000. Some people don't have $50 to give. And so it really makes a huge difference when you have a number of people donating. And so we are looking for $5 and $10 donations in mass quantities. And so, like, this week our goal is to raise $400. That's 40 people donating $10. We are almost there. We have
Nice.
like $120 left.
Nice.
And so I just try to do it in small goals. My goal's to raise 100,000. We probably won't get there, but that's okay. Shoot for the moon, land in the stars. But I really, my goal, I want to walk into the Abilene Music Awards having raised 70,000. That
Love
is
that.
my bottom.
How close are you?
To that,
Got a month.
we probably need 20 to 25,000 more.
All right, friends. Click the link and donate, please.
You have till
it's
the
going-
16th.
It's going to a really good cause.
The operating expenses, 6% of the operating expenses for Ben Ritchie are covered by this. It's their biggest fundraiser. And so if we could grow that just a little bit, their operating expenses are more percentages are covered by that fundraiser, which means they can allocate other money to do bigger things and
that.
expand.
And Ben Ritchie's been in the area for quite a while.
47 years
A
or
while,
something like
yeah.
that. More.
Doing good work.
Yes, they're awesome.
Yep.
The staff is incredible. It's just like a family. Everything out there is like a family. And they really push and promote family and community, and it's just a really cool place of like hope.
I like that. And you have the interpersonal touch there with your daughter and grandson there too. It's so cool.
I can't believe I talked about all of that without crying. So.
You did good. You did good. Well, we're going to wind this down a little bit today because you have hair to go cut.
I do.
And I have a junior at high school to go pick up since it's the last day of school.
Yay.
She's probably wondering where I'm at.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's been a pleasure.
I love
Sam, do you
talking
want to
with
put
you.
up the slide with the QR code if you haven't? Just okay, good. So if you guys want to donate, please donate. It's a really good cause. If you need resources, if you're in the area and you need resources, Ben Ritchie might be a place for you, but there are so many resources in our community. And if you need help with anything, reach out. We will help connect you with the people that can help. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are willing to do that. If you need a haircut, go on down to the Collective.
So we have a barber named Nikki that does walk-ins on Saturdays from 11 to 4. We do take walk-ins when we can. We are a busy shop, and so sometimes we can't. If we can't get you in, we will send you to one of the barber shops that I talked about earlier because we want to make sure you're taken care of well. You can also, if you're on a budget, you can also get your haircut at Affordable Barber Academy. It's students, and so please know that it's going to be an hour or more, but it's $5, and you're supporting people learning, so that's really important. It's easier to book an appointment with us on our website, so that's thecollectiveabilene.com. You can't go wrong with anybody. Everybody's
great.
Everybody's great.
Yep. Professional.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Good.
And just good people.
Yeah, good people.
Great barbers.
If you need a place to go chill in your downtown and you just want to hang out with some really cool cats, pop on up.
Yeah. Come have a beer. Also, if you don't know what you want to eat and you're walking around downtown aimlessly, come into the barbershop and we will help you pick lunch out.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of great places to eat.
There.
They're good. Well, we'll have you back on at some point in the
Please.
future. And we'll celebrate you on the 19th of June as you sing. It'll be awesome, I'm sure.
Thank you.
And please donate to that cause. It really is a great cause.
One more thing. Sorry.
Yeah.
If you need resources or if you need to get in contact with Ben Ritchie, if it is volunteering, if you have donations, they need baby clothes, baby items, children's clothes, furniture, even artwork. There's nothing. If you have stuff to donate, you can take it. If they can't use it, they will donate it to other local charities, by the way. So it's a one-stop shop. But you can call them at 692-2500. You can fill out applications online at benritchie.org. The Single Moms program has openings, and so does the Boys program, as far as I know. They really need volunteers for their equine program.
Okay, for the horses. Good.
And that's it.
That's good. That's great stuff.
Thank you.
Well, guys, thanks again for watching today. I think the Breakdown with Ben is coming on next. We've got a slew of great characters from the storybook capital of America coming on in the following weeks. Tune in Thursday mornings around 10. Hopefully we can be producing and showing you guys some of this wonderful live content. And come on down to Majestic, grab a cup of coffee, stop over here and watch Tuesday mornings. We'd love to have a live audience. Thanks to our producer extraordinaire, Sam Wolf. Thank you, Nichole, for being my wonderful guest today. Great convo.
Thank you, Travis.
And we'll see you next week. Signing off from the Travi Wavi.